Just over probably 12 years ago now, I began to realize that my desire to serve a church full time may not become a reality. So I had completed seminary and I was serving part time at a local church here in the Kansas City area, South Kansas City, and enjoying it, loving it, thinking that this is where God's going to put me. And so what else can I do to support my family? So then the idea of serving in the military as a chaplain, came across my mind, and kind of sensed the Lord lead in that direction. And so I first went to a different branch, and let me just say that door just never opened up, and I thought, well, the Lord just shut that door. And several months later, I was at a conference and sat next to a friend of mine from seminary, and he said, man, you need to check out the Air Force. They had this really cool program that would really serve you well as a reservist. So I did. The Lord opened the door, and as my wife and I just kind of walked through it and prayed through it, the doors just kind of kept opening for us, and that's kind of the rest of the story. And so for just over 10 years now, we've been serving as a reservist in the Air Force, and really enjoying it, and glad that I had the opportunity to do that. And so one of the questions that I get a lot is, well, why not just go full time? Well, the easy answer to that is I believe that a calling into full-time chaplaincy is just that. It's a calling into full-time chaplaincy. I felt called. I am called to serve the local church, and that's where I want to be. And but I also know that there's a valuable ministry to serve as a reservist in our country, as in the United States Air Force, and that's where I'm at. And I've been doing it for 10 years, and I've enjoyed it, and it's been a great experience. So just for informational sake, let me just share with you the reality that in the Air Force Reserves, there are two categories. So on one hand, there's the Category A chaplain. That's the chaplain that you would think of when you hear the word reservist, and you would think, well, he serves 1 week in a month and 2 weeks a year, and you would be correct in thinking that, with the clarifying note that the 2 weeks out of the year most likely will be scattered throughout the year. So over the course of the year, he would pepper the 2 weeks, the 14 days, to serve in different capacities during that time. On the other hand, there's a Category B chaplain, which is currently where I serve as April 4th, that is. I'm serving in this category, which, unlike being attached to a traditional reserve wing that serves 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year, I serve 24 days, so basically the same amount of days, but just over the course of the whole year, I serve 24 days, and attached to an active duty base, an active duty chapel, where I serve alongside active duty chaplains and a chapel staff to complete the mission of the commander at that base. And so it's a little bit different. One is 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. On the other hand, where I'm at currently, I serve alongside active duty staff for 24 days, and that's throughout the year, and that could be any number of days, with the exception of the 2-week tour, 12 of those 24 days, to where they want me and desire for me to serve those consecutively back-to-back weeks. The other 12 days can be anywhere in the year, as long as it works out good for the church and good for the active duty chapel to complete the mission. There's one last thing that I want to leave with you as you continue this journey to search for the next pastor of your church. Most likely that's why you're watching this video, is because you've gotten my resume and you're looking through the stack of information and going through websites and looking for videos and just prayerfully seeking the next pastor for your church. And please know that if I've sent you my resume, that I'm praying for you as well, because I want the Lord to lead you all to the right man to fulfill that role. But I want you to know this, that as a chaplain in the Air Force, it's my honor to be able to serve under the endorsement of the North American Mission Board. That's right. As a chaplain, I don't just walk on the Air Force Base and say, hey, I'm a chaplain. Before I can do that, they want to know that I'm endorsed by an endorsing agency, by a denomination that says, yeah, we believe and we trust that this guy will faithfully follow the faith foundations that he has been endorsed by. And so because of that, it's a great honor to not only serve our country as a chaplain, but to serve our country as a North American Mission Board Southern Baptist chaplain, and holding dear to what you hold dear as a Southern Baptist church. And so that's a unique thing that I think a lot of people don't quite understand, is that I am not just a chaplain, but I'm a North American Mission Board endorsed Southern Baptist chaplain. And I think it's a great privilege to be able to do both, to serve as a pastor and also to serve and pastor airmen at a local Air Force base. If you have any questions about what that looks like, there's an email button or a contact button, and you may stick my resume at the nope, not this guy list. But if you have any questions, it would still be an honor for me to answer those questions and to tell you more about my story and about the unique privilege it is to serve as a chaplain in the United States Air Force. And it really, truly is a great privilege and an honor that I never thought was going to be possible. But here I am, and I am grateful for the opportunity to not only serve the local church, but also our United States Air Force as a chaplain. Praying for you, and I trust that God will lead you to the right guy.